Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today. And though you've come through many obstacles.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to episodes 6 and 7 of your boy Kongming. So, we're doing 2 episodes, and we're going to be doing multiple episodes a week until we finish this. We're going to do 6 and 7 this week. Next week will be 8 and 9, and then 10, 11, and 12 will be the final week. The reason for this is because I got so far behind on like the actual airing schedule of things and all. And I wanted to just like get it caught up as quickly as possible and move on to some other stuff, because there's some other things in the first impressions slots that I want to get to. Especially some older stuff that I want to stop putting off, basically. I did preempt this one ahead of things too, and so I want to make sure I get back to some older stuff that we've been waiting on continuing because of that. I'm not necessarily trying to get this series like done with too soon or anything. It's like I want to enjoy the series, but we do need to get caught up. And mind you, of course, as always, I am still pre-recording this and all, so keep that in mind. But yeah, I think this is the best idea and the best way to handle it. So we are still in the midst of getting Aiko up to snuff, getting her her amount of fans up there in the numbers so she can get into these different festivals and all. We've had confrontations with other characters. I'm trying to remember exactly what happened last time, because I actually haven't recorded in a good bit, just due to again, how this is entirely going with the pre-recordings and all. Okay, yeah. Last time they were searching for a rapper. I just had to see the thumbnail to see that, so I just went into my folders. Last time they were searching for a rapper, and they found this one kid who is very self-defeatist. He is extremely timid and nervous, and the more he performs in front of people, the more anxious about it he gets. And he's really good and passionate about rapping, but he's not exactly comfortable with the performance part of it. Even as this rival of his challenges him over and over, he can't work up the courage to do it. And so we're leading up to him obviously joining forces with Aiko as part of Kongming's plan. Kongming has confronted him and invited him to come check things out, and it looks like he's going to, so it's looking pretty interesting. I wasn't quite expecting this, but he is in the opening, so he is going to at least become a notable character. Which is cool, because I like him so far. I like his personality. I like what they're doing with his character. He's a very relatable, likable person. So yeah. So we're doing 2 more episodes today. I don't know what to expect. I don't know where this is going to go exactly, but with this series, it's kind of hard to tell. It's not exactly... Excuse me. It's not exactly like on the nose with all of its story building, I guess you could say. It takes you for some twists that you might not always expect. So we're going to check this out, see what we've got in store, and just kind of hope for the best going forward. So, yeah. When the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episodes. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So we finished off one little arc here and are moving into the next. So we kick things off with our first of these 2 episodes by having the rap battle between Kongming and Kabatajin go down. At first, Kabe is not exactly thrilled to be there. He listens to things, but is going to leave until Kongming basically calls him the fuck out and insults his honor. So Kabe naturally goes up there, and the 2 have their rap battle. And let's be honest, Kabe completely wrecked Kongming. Like, Kongming was using his raps to get to Kabe personally, to personally get through to him. He wasn't trying to actually be, like, exceptionally good or to win the battle at all. That was never his intent. And that's a good thing, because he just didn't really stand up to Kabe at all in terms of quality. Like, the technique that was shown by Kabatajin was, like, drastically better than what Kongming did, as they mentioned in the episode. Kongming wasn't bad, but it just wasn't quite on the same level at all, which makes sense. Because it was Kongming's first rap battle, his first time doing this kind of thing. And Kabe is a pro, literally a 3-time champion. So it makes sense. The fact that they got a draw, though, on the first vote was surprising, because it was such a shutout. But at least it allowed for Kongming to get more through to Kabe, which was very good. And in the end, he joined forces with them. He agreed to join forces in their plan to use music to save the world. And just that line in general, like, save the world through music and all, kind of reminds me of this other anime. I think I've talked about it a couple times on the channel. But it's called Kacho Oji, also known as The Legend of Black Heaven. And basically it's about this retired hard rock musician who is recruited along with his old band members by the government to use their music to fight against an alien invasion. I am not even fucking kidding you there. It is the most ridiculous, dumbass thing possible, but it's super entertaining. It's really fun. It's enjoyable. It's a great time. It's not like the best anime or anything, but it's definitely worth a check out. It just kind of reminds me of that, because, like, one of the things from that is hard rock save the space. So, like, talking about, like, music saving the world just instantly makes me think of that line, that catchphrase from Kacho Oji, and makes me think of the series in general, which is fun. But the first episode of these 2 was very simple. It was basically just closing this out, getting Kabe to join them, and the rap battle itself. And that's fine. That's all it needed to be. But then we get into the second one, and this is where we start our new arc. Basically, the plan to really set things into motion to get these 100,000 likes. And excuse me. We finally start to learn about Azalea, the trio we see in the opening. They are the big competition during this part of the series, and they are who Aiko has to worry the most about here. So Kongming's plan, first off, is to get things handled with both of the main acts of their group. Kabe goes out to basically clear his mind by figuring everything out with this rap battle he's going to have against his rival, while Aiko is sent out to do a studio recording. She gets to the studio after finding or after being given these 3 bags by Kongming to use if she got nervous. She opens them up, and there are a few just randomly assorted things, it seems. She decides to cash in the first and goes to buy a couple of big ass pudding jugs, tubs. That's the word I was thinking of, not jugs. Tubs from the store, the convenience store. She arrives with them at the studio where she meets Steve Kidd. This guy is a famous DJ and everything, and she's going to be recording with him. He's also an eccentric. He's known for doing some wild shit, like throwing cakes at the audience for some reason. The funny thing is, an audience at a music show would eat that up. Pun intended. Like, they would love that. I don't know why, but having been to music shows and stuff, the audience would be absolutely living for that. I don't know, maybe it's just the fun and frivolity of it all, I don't know. But anywho, he's clearly tricky to work with. At first, he's very unmotivated to even get things started, even though they only have 2 weeks to get this recorded. And because of that, Aiko ends up using the pudding. That ends up coming in handy because the pudding contains bamboo shoots, which, as I said in the reaction, I actually like bamboo shoots. I got a can of them from the food pantry at my church. They're actually really good. They kind of taste like baby corn. Like, you know those little baby corns like you get with like Chinese food and stuff? Bamboo shoots kind of taste like those, weirdly enough. Which I like. I love that taste. So yeah, they're really good. So I don't know what they'd be like in pudding, mind you, but yeah, I enjoy bamboo shoots. But yeah, he ends up loving the pudding and she gives them both to him, realizing it was part of Kongming's plan, and so he agrees to start things now. They go in, and he's like, "Okay, sing a song for me from your idol, the one who, got her to love music again." So he starts playing on the piano. She recognizes the song right away, and we don't actually get to hear her sing it, which means that's probably going to come up later, her singing that song. But she does sing it. He says, "Oh, you're very good, but I don't hear you in the performance. Like, your identity is not in your singing." And I actually understand entirely what he's saying. Because any good singer out there can emulate a great song from someone else. And Aiko's kind of been doing that. Like, the main song we've heard her sing, I guess, the most often is a cover song. And we've heard, like, that original song that she had the small recording of and everything, but she hasn't really put herself as much into her music yet, and that's kind of this big deal. So this is where the second of those bags that Kongming gave her comes into play. So Steve basically tells her that he can't work with her right now. She needs to figure out who she is within her singing first, and then they can work on that. And he even tells her after, he's like, "Oh, we only have 2 weeks." He's like, "Yeah, well, get to work. You have limited time." And so she goes out. She's just walking the streets, and she sees a street performer. She realizes that this is how the second bag comes in handy, which contains a street performing license, basically a license to perform on the streets because of legal reasons and whatnot. Can't just have anyone and everyone out there at all times and all of that. So I'm thinking while watching this, it's like, okay, Aiko's going to use that. She's going to do a street performance and all. But then she ends up seeing this other girl doing a performance. Some cops come up to her mid-song and is like, "Do you have a permit to perform on the street and everything?" And she's like, "No." And she's like trying to find her license and everything to show them and all. But that's when Aiko comes up to save the day. Using the permit, she pretends to be friends with this girl. And says like, "Oh, I found the permit. It's a good thing I got here right on time." And it all ends up working out. The cops go away, but they're still a little suspicious, so they stand nearby. And Aiko and, as we learn her name is Nanami, decide to perform together, with Nanami singing and Aiko playing her guitar. And yeah, it sounds really good from what we hear of it, and the two agree to perform together again the next day, with it going back to Kongming to show that he's like divining that there's friendship on the horizon. So could she be another new member of their crew? I'm genuinely wondering about that. Because, hey, I mean, Aiko having a new friend to hang out with, someone who she can relate to a lot more. Because let's be honest, Kabe and her are pretty different. And they might end up being friends, but their styles and their ways of performing are very different. So having someone who's more like her, I think will do Aiko a lot of good. So, but we'll see how that will go as this arc continues. Yeah, I'm enjoying this as always. This series continues to be pretty damn great. So we'll see how it turns out as we continue on next time. And I do want to apologize once again for whatever happened in there. Again, I actually don't know if the reaction like picked up that like freezing spell we had. I have no idea what happened. It's just like everything started freezing. OBS, the VLC. I paused VLC and then it's like everything started like going again, and I don't know. I don't think it was a CPU issue. I really don't, because it's like I have the thing open. I have my task manager open, and the CPU is fine. So I don't think it was that. I don't know. And again, I don't have like a lot open on Chrome or anything, or I don't have anything else open that would be causing a lot of issue with that. The only things that would be causing issue are stuff like VLC, OBS, Chrome if I have a lot open, or a game. And I don't have a game open at all, so I don't know. I could not tell you what is causing that. But either way, yeah. We'll just have to end up hoping that it's not that bad. So, just moving on from that. Tell me in the comments below, what did you think of these episodes of your boy Kongming? And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.